Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. It is a Wednesday night surprise, and we are live. Not with a special guest yet, but that's coming very soon. I had to open this up before I can send him the link. So just bear with me here for a moment while we get this thing going here. I've got to make some activity, some behind the scenes. This is behind the scenes stuff we're happening right here. All right, let's see here. Here we go. Let's see here. Very good. Okay, so hopefully our special guest will join us in a moment. And you're going to know who this is as soon as he reveals himself. That's right. It's going to happen here very, very soon here. And let's see. It's kind of a sort of a semi-impromptu thing. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. But yeah, this is going to be fun. And I appreciate him taking the time. But we're going to reveal who it is as soon as they come aboard here. Let's see here. Oops, let's see. All right. What is happening here? Okay. All right. Very good. And while we're here, we got a lot of good folks with us. We got Delstone 1965 is here while we wait for our special guest to join us. Matthew Crustlife is here. Jamie Fox is with us tonight. James Owen and Brian McDaniel. How you doing, Brian? Good to see you. Paul Sargent, too. My name is Nobody is here. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. And the great Cyber Curtain Twitcher is here, a channel you should check out. He's been here as long as I have and posts some great videos and actually produces his own silver testing device called the CCT Silver Slide. All right, okay, we think we've got him here. Let me see here. I've got to approve. Let me just find. I haven't done this in a little while. Let me see here. Okay. All right, there we go. We've got him now. Hello, sir.
What's going on, Uncle Sal?
It is Constitutional Stacker is with us. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. All right. Let's see here. Are you with us? We had him there for a little bit, and then we still have his video, but no audio. He said, we heard him say, what's going on, Uncle Sal? But now we don't hear him. Let's see here. We've got him up there. Well, we have our special guest, but we're not hearing anything. Did you accidentally mute your mic? Constitutional Stacker? Let's see here. While we wait for him to, I don't know what's going on here. Let me just, he's live, but we're not hearing the audio from him. And on my end, I've got his audio up and everything. We did hear him. Let's take a scammer call while you wait for him to fix his speaker there. Hello? Hello? All right. Well, that's going to phase out too, scammer. So, all right. Looks like he's going to try to come back in again. Something was happening there on him. But in the meantime, hello to you guys. Glad you're here with us tonight. We got a special guest, Constitutional Stacker, and he said hello to us, and then boom, it just went away. So maybe something's going on there. Let's see if we can get him back in here again. Let me open him back up here again. There we go. Now are you with us? Let's see. Still not hearing you, Constitutional Stacker. I think you bumped something, because we could hear you say your greeting, but then it just, it went away. Then the audio went away. We can see your screen. We can see your screen very clearly. You're up on the screen. We just hear no audio. So maybe your audio microphone or something needs to be plugged back in or something. I know it's kind of impromptu here, getting you going, but we not seeing you. And so in order to pass the time while we wait for him, because I'm sure he's going to have to disconnect and reconnect again, just hang with us, folks. We're going to answer some comments. We're going to answer some comments here. I always have a backup plan. When all else fails, have a backup plan. And we're going to have a backup plan here. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I know. He's having trouble with his audio. Folks, sorry about the technical difficulties. We're going to get into some of the comments here, and we're going to say hello to We'll look for him to come back in on that link again. Like I said, it was working at the very beginning, constitutional when he came in, and then it just and then it stopped working just like that. All right, Gold Chick. JP died before Jesus was born. All right, JP Morgan, old guy he was, that's for sure. We've got Silver Surfer Chick. Silver up 6%, now down 3%, still 3% overall. I will take it. Yep, indeed. That's right. Exactly. I'm with you on that. We'll take it. As long as we don't have more days like today happening in the next couple of days. We've got to hold on to that resistance of 32.50. Mojave Gold. All right, let's try him again. Here we go. All right. How are you there now?
Can you hear me, Uncle
Yes,
Sal?
I can hear you. All right.
That is so weird. It rejected me like 3 times.
Crazy. Well, the first time it worked fine, then all of a sudden, boom. So it didn't kick you out because we could still see your screen.
Well, I ended up leaving and coming back. Maybe it's because I had the YouTube window open so I could read the chat at the same time. So now I can't see the chat. But what's going on, everybody? Long time no talk.
Yeah. So for those of you who aren't aware, Constitutional Stacker has a channel on YouTube and Rumble. He's not been quite as active as of late, but yes, indeed, he's got a lot of sound advice that he's given on his channel in the past, and a good experience. He hardworking man, contributes to the economy through his own business, and has been through ups and downs with that, but still plugging away, and we appreciate him. And so how's it going? Anything? What do you make of these markets and what's going on in the world today? And any advice you want to give to the viewers?
Well, a lot of ups and downs. You're right. You know what? I'm going to take an honorary Salivate Metal sip. Oh, what's behind the cup right there? The mug. That's some gold and silver. Imagine that.
Nice. Oh,
so,
yeah.
I've got some ups and downs going on lately. I mostly quit my job, which I haven't disclosed publicly until now. Stepped down from a salary position. I have about 8 streams of income, 8 sources. I'm down to about 5. And that's why I think it's really, really important to have income sources and base investment strategies like gold, silver, and other. By the way, I cannot see the chat. I'm not going to open up the YouTube window because I've never used this platform. So don't be offended, because I like to respond to people in the chat, but I simply can't see it.
Yeah, well, any comments addressed to questions, we'll do the question and answer question here later on, and then I'll read them. We'll figure out a system there for that. Yeah. These members want to know.
And you're right, I haven't been as active lately. A lot of life changes. That's going to change. I actually got into a gnarly vehicle accident on Sunday. I sent you pictures of that. What'd you think?
Yeah, that was something else. Yeah, that was you got to be careful. Deer they can cause a lot of damage, that's for sure. But yeah, and that's just it. I think it's a matter of when you run into situations like that, it is good to have backup plans. And I think if people can't get multiple streams of income with your single stream of income, it's good to put some cash away, some in the bank as well as on hand, and use that to protect your stack, so you don't have to liquidate your stack unless it's a dire emergency. And I think everybody, even in this economy, can afford to do both of those things, even if it's just a little bit. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, 100%. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have quite a large stack, as anyone who has ever watched me knows. It's not big enough, but I have been into a situation recently where I had to liquidate some of it. I had to buy a new car. Had to pay some bills for my side business. I'm down about 20 grand in the last 2-3 months. But you know what? There's a lot more where that came from, and it's going the wrong direction, but thank God I had it. And I think what you just said is key. People can really cut back and make better choices. My old man told me before he died, he goes, it's not so much what we make, it's what we keep. And I think that that's very true. And I think that America has more of a spending problem than it does an income problem. Although I do think that's becoming more of a problem, the income thing.
Yes. With inflation especially, that's right.
Oh, it's terrible.
But it's like we've not, I think that even though that's the case, people still have not curtailed some of their spending. They're spending as if it was before all this inflation began.
Oh yeah, and all the quote unquote free money printing, all the stimulus and all that. People are still trying to live like they did.
Those stimulus checks that were handed out are coming back to bite us now. In fact, I guarantee you the average American who received that check, as well intentioned as it may have been, and considering their circumstances, they're paying for it right now, and they have been paying for it. They're going to pay for it many times over.
As are future generations, and that's what's truly sad.
Yes, that's right.
We're on different sides of the country, I think, but there's a major restaurant chain here that just shut down all of its Oregon locations, which is Sherry's. Big Five Sporting Goods is going under. I don't know if it's just one location or all of them. Big Lots, I saw one of them going out of business. Things are in turmoil right now, for sure.
Yes, and the thing is things like that, because you hear about companies shutting down, 50,000 employees there, 10,000 there, and you hear about it, and then the next day, it's gone from the headlines, and then the jobs numbers comes out, and they say, oh, they've created all these jobs, but where are those jobs being created? And
government.
Government's filling it. That's right. Government's filling it. The government is injecting a lot of liquidity in the markets, and that's what's propping up the stock market and everything else. That's why they call them the chefs at the Cook the Books Club, and they are cooking the books. It's not. It's government money, and what is that? When the government participates in the economy directly like that, it's essentially socialism. We're already very much, and we have been for quite a while. It's just really intensified lately. In fact, Social Security is socialism. It's government intervention. Should have never been created in the first place. And,
that's right. Let people make their own decisions and stand on their own 2 feet and live with the consequence, good or bad.
And the thing is most people, you don't even have to have much of a thinking brain where you could have a better return with your money, with the safest, most conservative investments with your money than what you're getting with Social Security from the government.
Oh, 100%. So, and I do have a couple IRAs. I have a Roth and a traditional. I use the traditional for a tax write-off, and it averages about 6.5% a year, which is not much. But in my state, they did this thing called Oregon Saves, I don't know, 8 years ago-ish, and they take a certain amount out of your checks, and they put it in a state-monitored retirement account. I said, nope, I got out immediately because there was an option to opt out. And of course I did that because I would rather manage my own retirement than have government have anything to do with it.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And anything government ran and run, it will end up in peril, and Social Security is going to end up that one day as well. We have Constitutional Stacker with us. And he's got a channel on YouTube, and one of my one of my moderators can post a link to that. That would be great, to his channel. And yes, appreciate you all being here. And so we're talking about fiscal responsibility, and essentially how we can protect ourselves, not just with gold and silver, but just by prudent fiscal responsibility all around. We all have to live within our budgets. Why? Because we can't print money, and local governments can't, states can't either, but they have a buffer zone. Local governments and state governments have a buffer zone, and that is the federal government. That is our tax dollars. I'm on the East Coast, and I'm paying for some stuff in Oregon right now, and vice versa.
I bet you are.
And the thing is that's not the way it should be. That's not the way our system was set up. But it's all about, especially nowadays with inflation rearing its ugly head. It's not going to get any better. Even if it stays at a 2% growth, that's still inflation. And employment opportunities are starting to dwindle, and it's getting tough. If you were to get a 2% raise next year, you're getting a pay cut.
Yep, 100%.
And
so what you just said, I want to share something that I thought about. It hit me recently. Within the last couple months, I mean, it really hit me in these terms, and this is wild to think about. So the government doesn't need our tax dollars anymore, and they haven't for a long time, but now they're almost arrogant about it. And by the way, I want to touch on the fact that I cannot see the chat. I'm afraid to open up the YouTube window because that might have had something to do with this. So I'm not trying to ignore anybody. I can't stand channels that do that. I just can't see the chat, so I'm counting on Sal to
Yeah,
tell
no,
me.
that's fine. Yeah, we haven't gotten to questions yet, but we do appreciate everybody being here.
But here's what's wild, right? If the government doesn't need our tax dollars because they can print the money, why do they take them? It's simple, to keep us poor, because poor people have no options, and we don't want to be those people.
Right. Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. They want us dependent on them so they can control us and keep us dependent, and that's really unfortunate. That's not the way it should be. And
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
well, I was just going to say, and it's not like Constitutional Stacker and I are saying that we shouldn't contribute to taxation of any sort. We just think that it should be fair, and it should also be low. And in reality, our government could probably be funded through tariffs. That's the way it used to be. There was no income tax in this country. It was done
Right.
through tariffs and other measures through trade agreements with other nations. That was the way it was during the antebellum period. And then ever since the Civil War, and we saw really the federal government really start to grow, really under emergency war powers under Lincoln, and it's been downhill ever since. And we've just been managing the decline essentially of a great nation, really ever since then. And it's really a shame. And it's gotten so out of control that we're spending billions and billions of dollars to the tune of, I think, $437 billion every 30 days. That means that means about every 2 months. About every 2 months, we're paying almost $1 trillion. It used to be $1 trillion every 100 days. Now they've stepped it up again.
And that's what, about, I don't know, a tenth of your stack, maybe.
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what, it could be one day if they keep on doing what they're doing. And that's just it. The thing is that, and I'm not saying that that's going to happen anytime soon. I think I speak for Constitutional Stacker when I say that we do not want the economy to fail. And I would say that we have weathered so much. This country is so great that even through the progressive agendas that's been really instituted since, it really goes back to Wilson, is really it started ramping up under Woodrow Wilson. We have still been able to manage because there's a semblance of the free market still in play. And so people find clever ways around things to be able to work under the system that we have under our Constitution. The free market is a very powerful thing, even when it's under threat. And so that's what's kept us going. The dollar is the top currency in the world. It's not going to be going away anytime soon. It's not going to collapse anytime soon. In fact, I don't think it's going to collapse at all. They will reset it before it collapses. And then when they do that, then it's going to be complete control, because they will be able to manage the economy and everything around it, because under a central bank digital currency, a social credit score system will be set up, and other factors and situations will be set up where they can stimulate and they can retract. They can retract and send out money at will, and be able to manage everything with a click of a mouse. Or not even that. They will use an algorithm to do it.
Oh, like your EV car won't start because your YouTube post was offensive, or your Facebook post was offensive. Basically what you're talking about is capitalism, and I love capitalism. I mean, if we weren't doing this today, I'd be out making $50-$100 on the side hustle. By the way, I'm going to have to send you an invoice for that. But no, this is great. I'm glad we were able to do this because our schedules conflict. But, I got a buddy of mine. I'm not going to get into details, but his son, and he's older than I am. I'm 44. I'm getting kind of old. He's touching 60, and he's never really amounted to much. Very talented guy in construction and stuff, but his son's facing some legal issues. He's locked up, and things he may or may not have committed. I mean, you know how the system can work, but he keeps saying, "Man, his public defender sucks," and blah blah blah. And he's one of the few leftists I talk to in my personal life, just because he's a fun guy. He costs me money all the time, which, no surprise there. But, he keeps saying, "I wish I could afford a real attorney." but the tape doesn't play through. What's the solution to the next time this happens? Go out, earn some capital, invest it, save it, and have it. You have that opportunity in America. We all do, because of capitalism.
That's right, exactly, because of capitalism. And that's really the foundation of what has made. I mean, and you think about it. Even though Bill Gates has just recently endorsed Kamala Harris, he started in the garage. It was his own intuition and know-how that made Windows what it was. It became the most popular operating system around. Some people, well, there is this notion that he stole the GUI from Apple, but that's a side note. But both the Steve Jobs and Bill Gates started in their garages, from next to nothing. And
so did Amazon, Jeff Bezos,
right,
with the books.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. And so, what other country can you have somebody that they can multi-millionaires, billionaires, starting from like that? And I will also dare say that even if you were born with a whole lot of money, if you don't know how to manage that money and make it work for you, you can lose it very, very quickly. You've heard people who win the lottery and they don't know what they're doing, and they become even more poor than they were before they got the money. So if you don't know how to manage money, you can lose it very, very quickly. So the people that say, well, you were born into a rich family, so your success is because it was all handed to you. No, you have to make that money work for you. And it's the same thing with precious metals too. People can make very, very foolish decisions with precious metals. And so anyways, so there's that.
Well, that lottery thing you touched on, it's so true, and people just, it reminds me of government, right? So government doesn't earn their money. They take our money. And it's so easy to be irresponsible when you've never gone out and produced anything. In fact, my next video is going to talk about another guy I know that it's going to talk about value, not just value in metals and investments, but value in what people think they're worth. He's, again, middle-aged, lives at home, never amounted to jack. And I don't even talk to him anymore. But he lives with his mother rent-free, which is partially why we don't talk. And he's upset that she paid the neighbor to paint the house and not him. First of all, that's your mother. Second of all, you can barely walk. Thirdly, she wants it to be done. Like people have this thing about value. They overvalue themselves, and government does that too, and they do it with our money. Just like the lottery winners, they don't go out and they don't earn it. So easy come, easy go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly. And I'm getting some criticism in the chat for, quote, talking politics. And the thing is most of what we're talking about is not really politics. It's about choices, life choices, and about not relying on the government. And that works both ways. And so, and by the way, we are in election season, so people are extra sensitive, I guess, to that. But anyways, so very good. Well, we're going to take questions here soon, but Constitutional Stacker is our guest. Check the link up above, and maybe I'll redo that link. So put
also
so
post the Rumble link if you would, because again, I'm afraid to open up the YouTube window because I think that's what caused my mic issues. I'm not sure, and I can't see the chat.
Okay, let me see.
I mean, it's not easy, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not easy for me to do right here, and because I don't want to break the flow of the conversation. But it's Constitutional Stacker is with us. I'm going to just write Constitutional Stacker is guest. Find him on Rumble
and YouTube.
Let's see here.
In fact, I need to make a video. It's been probably a couple weeks. I'm slacking, y'all.
Yeah, let's see here. All right. Let's see. Okay. Dang it. It's hard for me to do this while. Let's see here. Okay, because everybody keeps saying, who's the guest? Who's the guest? Who's the guest? So I think it'd be better to do that. And you can search them out on both those platforms. Just type Constitutional Stacker in the verse in the search bar. But anyways, very good. All right. So, nice. Let's see. Okay, so we got that. So anything else you want to say before we take questions? I know you can't see the chat, but I'm looking at it here.
Other than the fact that, you have been one of the larger channels that has never ever been unsupportive of anybody. You always make time for people. I think you're a phenomenal member of the community, and it's always an honor to interact with you. And I know our schedule. We are both some of the truly busiest guys I know. You might actually have me trumped on that, which is hard to do. Everyone says they're busy, but you really are, and I really am. So I appreciate you making the time to do this. So thank you very much.
Well, no problem. Thank you. Well, we're starting to get questions, and I'm honored to have you here. I appreciate it. And let's see here. And Marcus, thank you for saying hello. And so, Mr. and Mrs., if you want to ask him a question, tag my name so that it lights up. If you type salivate metal with no space, it'll turn orange, and then I'll be able to see it for a question for Constitutional Stacker. So, Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stackers, question for Constitutional Stacker: is platinum a good alternative to gold with gold so high? Where do you get your platinum from?
I get my platinum from Money Metals. I am a Money Metals affiliate. Link in every video description I have. I think platinum, I don't think it's going to do what a lot of people think it's going to do. I think it's a good middle of the road. If you want something that holds a little more value weight-wise than silver and a little bit less value weight-wise than gold, I think it's a good mix. I think gold is probably the best bet. I think silver is the next best bet. I think platinum and silver are kind of in the same realm. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, but I think platinum's a good addition, and I think it's something we should all work toward having after we have a good fundamental silver and gold stack, personally.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think, Sal?
I believe platinum I'm a platinum bull. I think it's undervalued, but it is a riskier, I don't call it a fringe precious metal. I would stack very little of it, but stack it if you feel like, there's a potential for it, but there's a lot of reasons why I think it could go up, but it hasn't a whole lot yet as of late, even with this latest bull run. So, yeah.
Right.
We have a couple of real serious questions here, so put your serious hat on, Constitutional Stacker. Joseph Lopez: is taking retirement at the age of 21 a good idea? Because I just filed for retirement at the age of 21. I think he meant to say 12. He got his numbers mixed up there. What are your thoughts on that, quick?
Number one, what do you mean by that? If you're talking about filing for retirement with the government, you can't do that at the age of 21. Number two, my answer to that is, how much money do you have? If you have enough money, I think it's a phenomenal idea, but it's going to be self-funded.
Yeah,
and I think you should always have an income.
Exactly right. I think he was joking, but here's the next one. Niels Han Dynasty says,
Neil,
tell him he does not know anything about platinum. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay.
Well, it's funny because Neil and I actually talk on the phone. I went down when I went down and saw Savage and a couple others last November. I went by Neil's house and we had a great time. And he likes to take credit because him and Nickel talk about platinum, and I started buying platinum after they talked about it. And I was already interested, but yes, they did play a part in me taking that plunge. So, by the way, Neil, don't forget to vote for me, POTUS 2024. Your ballot will be coming soon. That's another inside joke we have.
All right. Aaron Thomas: if the conservatives win, should I sell some of my stack? The dollar would strengthen, which lowers spot prices, in my opinion.
No, you should invest your dollars in markets and make more dollars and then buy more metals, in my opinion.
There you go. All right. Very good. All right. Thank you. And let's see here. And like I said, if you have a question for him, just type my name out with no space in between salivate and metal. You got to type it out. Don't put sal or don't say salivate. You got to type salivate metal so we see it. So we'll wait for other questions. And let's see here, but very good. Glad you guys are here. Michael K is here with us. Cemetery Shop is here. Tom Larson. Gold Chick is here.
Gold Chick, what's up, Goldie? Long time no hear.
Right to Wax. Peach, yes, indeed. All right. So Michael says, do you think the Fed is feeling the pressure to make cuts very soon? Ooh, good question. What do you think about that?
well, okay, so I will be honest. I knew they would do at least one rate cut, and I knew fuel would go down before elections. I would have thought they would have lowered fuel even more and done at least another rate cut before elections to say, look what we did, vote for us. So we'll see. I definitely knew they'd do one. I thought they would do another. I'm going to be honest with you. And I think at this point, it's probably too late in the game unless they're going to pull one out of the hat and do it right before the election for the late voters. But I'm a little surprised they only did the one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, the meeting's scheduled for 2 days after, so I think that they operate on their schedule. So it comes on and they will cut at least a quarter point.
I agree.
There was some feeling that they may cut another half point, but they did a pretty big cut before. But yeah, let's see here. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Okay, Richard Vaughn is asking, say, don't you think gold and silver prices will go up no matter who wins the election? If you're asking me, I think probably they will. There's still geopolitics is a big role in this, especially for gold. And what's propping up gold? A lot of what's gold is central bank buying and holding. But what are your thoughts, Constitutional Stacker?
I agree with you 100%. Nickel Stacking, I disagree. He thinks if Trump gets elected, gold and silver are going to drop. I disagree. I think with all the turmoil in the world, I think it's going to continue to go up. I think it'll go up slower if Trump takes office over the other. But I think it's going to go up. You know, and I'm sorry, a lot of people disagree with this, but I think BRICS is a player. I think that makes a big difference in the overall outcome long term. So I don't see precious metals going down significantly. Now, sure, silver drops $1, everyone goes into a tailspin because they like to cherry pick. Gold goes down $10, they go into a tailspin. But what was gold? 4 months ago? What was it, $2,000? 5 months ago? I mean, come on. What was silver? 27?
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Come on. I mean, the writing's on the wall, my opinion.
Yeah, and then speaking of BRICS, yeah, I think that will have an effect on it, even if they don't mention a gold-backed currency, which I think they're not going to do. I think they're going to probably announce the unit, which is what will replace the SWIFT system between their countries, but they have to build up trust within each other in order for them to really be competitive. And Tony Erickson says, in the mining sector everything is ramping up huge. Okay, yes, and Tony Erickson really keeps up with a lot what's going on in the mining sector, and so he knows what's going on there. He says things are ramping up there, so it's something to keep an eye on, is the mining sector. By the way, welcome Steve, aka Fish, is with us. Good to see PC Coinstar. Big Twin 88 is coming to us from Boston. Matthew Crustlife, is Dark Eyes vodka good for me? I don't know.
Well, it depends on your home life, brother.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, indeed. All right. Mm-hmm. And what else do we have? If you want to ask a question for Constitutional Stacker, who's our guest today, just type my name out with no space in between salivate and metal, spelled correctly, and I'll see it and I'll ask him.
And feel free to ask Sal questions, because Sal is 10 times the genius I will ever be.
No way. No, I don't know about that. Let's see. And we also have comments here. Let me, since Constitutional Stacker came up right as I was about to answer Mojave Gold's comment, let me get to his real quick here while we wait for other questions to come in. But beautiful silver display. I would have told you gold would fall. I picked up some Canadian maples earlier this morning. Seriously, this pullback is not unexpected. I don't believe the bull run on silver and gold is finished, though. The Fed is still printing up money like it's going out of style. That's exactly right. I agree with you, Mojave Gold, for sure. Pandora's Block says plunge would be $2 down, not $1. Well, in one day, anything over 2% is a plunge in one day, in my view. And of course, Pandora's Box has a little different measure of that. That's fine, but $1 a day.
I was using people as an example how when silver drops $1, they go into this hyperbolic state of, oh, it's plunging, it's crashing. And that's what I meant when I said that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's Pandora's Box was saying that. For one day, that's a big move, but it does not mean that silver's not going to come around or consolidate or anything like that. Well, thank you, Tony. I'm glad you like it. Chris G, I'm a 1 or 2 ounce at a time kind of guy. Never really been able to afford to spend the money on gold. But though I thought about trading for some, do you think this is a good idea? Do you think it's a good idea to trade? Let's see. What do you want to trade for gold? You talking about silver or gold for gold, Chris G? I guess we need more information there.
I think he's talking about silver because it sounds like he said he never had money to buy gold.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, man, I have an answer to that personally.
Go ahead. Yeah, go for it.
So, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Here's the deal. I don't particularly like gold. I don't find it aesthetically pleasing. Therefore, I didn't stack it for a long time. I don't think it has a lot of use to humanity compared to silver and platinum. However, here's the deal. The rest of the world loves it. Therefore, I must have it too. So for me, I'm I love silver. It's my favorite PM, but I'm very bullish on the future of gold. So I would say it depends on how much silver you have. But if you want to take that risk and trade some silver for gold at the end of the day, you're holding precious metals, and I don't see you really coming out, anywhere other than ahead over time. So I think gold is important to have in the stack personally, even though I don't particularly care for it. I like what it does for me.
It's got some on the screen right now. And Steve, a.k.a. Fish, Barber versus Morgan. Who is more handsome? Maybe you meant pretty.
Is that a question for me or for you?
Well, he's got it's. I told him to type my name out so I can see it, but it's for you. But we can both answer it if you want.
I like the Morgan. I really like the piece. I like them all. I'd have to say Morgan, but I just that's just an answer by default because I like them all. What do you think, Sal?
I would agree. Morgan's got a little bit more character, a little more flat, I guess flavor, more detail, a little bit more relief. Actually, a lot more relief for the Morgan versus the Barber. And of course, the Barber was never $1; it was a $0.50. But yeah, I would say the Morgan dollar for me too. Let's see. Bill Arrington says hello. Mark Razor, will the new flowing hair metal flop? There's a Morgan dollar there.
I knew I had one somewhere out here.
Nice.
Most of it's in one of the safes, but
so are you familiar with the flowing hair silver metal?
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about that, and man, it's beautiful. Some of the proof stuff that's come out of the mint's been beautiful too. But at the end of the day, I do pay a premium on these, and I do pay a premium on some other smaller gold pieces that I like because they're pretty and flashy. And because I don't like gold, I have to keep myself interested. But honestly, I'm a bullion guy. I'm a weight guy. And to me, it's just not, I'm not spending the money on them. What are they? It's like 104 ounce, $105 an ounce or something. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm a weight guy.
But do you think it will flop, though? Do you think it'll flop in the market?
I think at the end of the day, it'll be an ounce of silver worth a little bit more, honestly, maybe. To a collector.
And Mark Razor, I would tend to agree with Constitutional Stacker because of what Silver Wolverine reported about sales. Only 40,000 of them have sold out of the 75,000. They just blew through their original pressing of them. So they have to mint more of these. And they've not, so they're going to offer them for sale again, and maybe all the hype is out of it. Once they flood the market, then the $200 you're paying for one now on eBay will probably just tank, and it'll become, I think it'll always have some sort of premium to it, but not a whole lot. So I guess.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's fine.
I was going to say, and let me be clear. Like I said, I pay more for this than an American Gold Eagle in the same size because I prefer it. I did buy an Eagle because I got such a good deal on it not too long ago. But there's nothing wrong with treating yourself and, as Yankee says, getting that silver ice cream cone. There's nothing wrong with that from time to time. But I think it's a mistake unless you have a large base fundamental stack. That's my opinion on the matter.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm a collector and a stacker, so I'm gonna buy what I enjoy. But most of the time, in fact, 99.9% of the time, only 3.95% of the time, I buy what I like. I don't care what the secondary market has, and honestly, I'm not disappointed at all with getting the silver flowing hair metal without the privy because I knew I was going to get one to keep. If I would have gotten the privy, I would have flipped it and used the profits to buy either gold, more weight, and then have a little extra over to buy one without the privy because I don't like the privy mark, honestly. Richard Vaughn says, I think it would be better to wait for the gold to silver ratio down to trade. Yeah, and I agree with that, Richard Vaughn. I also will say that if you only have a few ounces of silver in your stack, do not trade that for gold. Keep your 100%. Silver. Keep your 100%. Silver. Save up for 1/10 of an ounce of gold. And the premiums are lower enough now on that fractional stuff. In fact, I'm going to be doing a video on that pretty soon. But let's see here. And Michael Guadagno is already seeing the market turn around for the flowing hair. He listed his on eBay and it's only bid up to $157. You got to subtract $13 from that too because that is the fee to list it. So thank you, Michael, for that information. Tony Erickson has been very kind. He just gifted 5 Celebrate Metal memberships across the board. That's a 9mm round. It wasn't a hollow point round, but it was enough to cause damage of 5 Celebrate Metal memberships. And we've got this from Mark Razor has just gifted a Celebrate Metal membership as well. Thank you, Mark Razor and Tony Erickson. You the man. Very good. And let's see here. Very good. All right. So a constitutional stacker, how long have you been?
That's a hollow tip with Palmer.
Nice. Sweet. I love it. That's great.
All right. What was your question? I'm sorry, Sal.
So how long have you been stacking?
2008, 2009, somewhere in there. One of the two.
Right at the financial crisis. Very cool. That's great.
I was 28 or 29. I was born in 1980.
Nice.
And I couldn't save a dime. And, I remember my old man liked silver and gold and stocks and mutual funds and the whole nine. And he took me down to Columbia Coin that used to be downtown Portland years ago. And then they had to move because the Multnomah County taxes, I think they're on Hawthorne or something now. And I remember, it was this shiny thing. And back then I was smoking 2 packs a day. I was a smoker the whole nine. And I had no money. But I bought some silver when I used AppMex because I didn't know any better. But well, I mean, you Google, hey, what's the number one best precious metal site? And
right.
Of course, they have great customer service and great products, but you will pay more.
Yeah.
Best selection. But I got, I think, 1.5 ounces, man. And it showed up. And the one thing I knew, I thought I was going to get rich. But the one thing I knew is that I wasn't going to take this and trade it in for a pack of cigarettes. And it kept going after that. I just really got into it.
Right.
So,
That's awesome. Very good. And by the way, Big Test Unit has gifted us Salivate Metal memberships across about too. Thank you, Big Test Unit. Very cool. And Niels Han Dynasty wants to know what the difference between you and Kojak is.
Probably I don't know, Neil. I'd have to think about that one.
All right. And it must be an inside joke. I can get what it is. But good to see Cranky Stackers here. He's saying hello.
Cranky's in the house. What's up, bro? I'll be honest with you. I sent Cranky an email, said, hey, it's not public yet, but you should come by Sal's at 3:00.
Nice. Nice.
I'm glad Cranky came in, even though I can't see the chat.
Well, know what you can do? You can open up a new browser. You have an extra browser window?
Well, yeah, but that's what I did before when the mic didn't work, and that's what concerns me. I thought maybe it was because it said something to the effect of your camera's in use in another browser, even though it wasn't. Okay. So that's what has me concerned about because I've never used Streamlabs before. So
okay,
I could try it, but I guess I could use Firefox. Right now I'm on Google Chrome, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Try a different browser. It shouldn't affect it. But anyway, Tucson Bub is here, and Silver Wolverine was here. We shouted him out earlier because he's the one that reported the sales.
We all live in the Silver Wolverine.
That's right. You remember that. That's right. We love it. That's awesome. Is 33 silver dimes way more with it than the flowing hair metal?
Let's see. Weight-wise, it's 14 makes an ounce. Yeah. So 28 would be 2 ounces. So, yeah, it weighs more than 1 ounce. Yeah.
Exactly. And Big Test Unit says, ask Constitutional if he ever goes to Harry's coin shop.
I do not go to Harry's. Harry's and I had a falling out. He will not do YouTube business with me because a bigger channel found him via me, and I thought that was bad business. So he's great if you're a customer. He's great if you're a seller. But on a personal level, Harry and I do not speak anymore. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Right. And so Richard, he's got a good stack of silver. So, yeah, he could do that. That's very good. Awesome.
Which is unfortunate because I took a buddy of mine in there and he dropped $10,000 in cash his first time in. I brought him a lot of business, but I guess I'm not a big enough channel for his liking. So,
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sucks. Yeah. And Steve says, if you were to open up another browser, make sure to mute that so you don't have echo in the audio. And
absolutely, what I'm doing right now.
And by the way, JT Coins Rings is with us tonight with the first super chat of the night of 99 cents. Thank you, JT. And JT Coins Rings is a great channel. He's the only channel that I know. There's probably maybe others out there, but he is the premier Coin Ring channel on YouTube. Posts live streams of what he does, shows you how he does it. Great guy, great member of the community. Been around a long time. We love JT Coins Rings. Thank you for popping by tonight. Tony Erickson, could you ask him what he thinks of Goldbacks? Okay, yeah. What do you think of Goldbacks?
Okay, I'm opening up another browser, so I'm going to mute it. Give me one sec here. We might get some feedback for one moment.
All right.
Here's the thing about Goldbacks. Oh, I can see the chat. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Beautiful. All right. Is there any feedback going on?
No.
Okay, good. So here's the thing about Goldbacks. I would tell you about a year ago, and I still will tell you, investment-wise, I think it's a horrible idea. However, Smart Silver Stacker, who's a phenomenal guy, pointed something out. Either him or somebody on his channel during a video. He pointed out how he likes to tip people with Goldbacks and educate them about what real money is. And I think that is a phenomenal idea as a teaching tool to get people into metals. If you're talking about stacking them to build wealth, the premium's too high. That's a big fat no for me. But they have a place.
Yep, I totally agree with you. I actually interviewed the CEO of the and the inventor of the Goldback, and we talked about the premiums. And I agree. You do not stack Goldbacks. There's two things you do with them. Well, now three, and those three things are: one, you can educate with them by tipping with them. Number two is you collect them. If you like they have beautiful designs on them. They are stocking
stuffers, maybe.
Yeah, they are very high premium, but you can collect them, give them as gifts. But the third thing that is what they're meant for is for spending. But you have to have businesses that will accept them and transact with them. If you don't have that,
and you have to go to Utah, Wyoming, states that actually,
Well, actually, no, you don't actually have to. It doesn't have to be those states. If you have one business that will accept them in California, in New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, doesn't matter what state. If they will accept them, and they should be able to, and there's nothing preventing them from doing it, then you can transact with them if they honor the exchange price, because they have an exchange price. And I talked to the owner, and I actually have talked to several people who have used them and say yes, a business will honor the exchange rate, and that's why they work. But they are not for stacking, because there's like a 4,000% premium. It's like, it's like insane. Right. It's insane. Do not stack these.
And then what did Wolverine say? Now that I can see the chat, I'd rather give cash as a tip. It's cheaper. LOL. Exactly, Wolvie.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And it's really just kind of an educational tool. But but they're not for stacking. I would never suggest that.
They're like Yankee says, they're ice cream cones. I mean, if you want to treat yourself because they're beautiful, that's cool. If you want to stock as a stocking with them or use them to educate, that's cool. But don't stack them to profit, because you'll have to live 4,000 years to get your money back. Come on.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly right. And by the way, that's a conversation I had with the founder of the company. I mean, and he agrees. He totally agrees. But anyway.
and I will say on that note, I don't even know if silverbacks are still a thing. Absolutely not under any circumstances. Those are even worse. Are those still a thing? Can you even get those?
I don't know. I've never.
Those were just horrid.
I think Silver Dragons had one, but I think that's the only one I know about. And that was just a commemorative thing. But hey, we have some breaking news, Constitutional Stacker. This just across the wire. There was a man in the community that forced his wife to subscribe to this channel just now. Steve C., a moderator here, made his wife just subscribe to this channel. Thank you, Steve C., and thank you to your lovely wife. Give her a big hug and a kiss for me. That's great. That's awesome.
Give her a hug and a kiss for me, too.
Yeah,
because I think sounds great. That's awesome.
All right, that's awesome.
Texas says they are a thing. Okay, see, I wasn't sure. I was asking the premiums. Woo! Yeah. Those paper metal dollars, man, I tell you. Got to watch out for them.
Yes, indeed. Oh, man. Crazy. And by the way, there are ways to find good deals on constitutional silver for sure, but also on on fractional silver pieces. I've gotten from my local coin shop even fairly recently some good deals. They are out there. You just have to look around. Look around.
Cranky has a good question. You see that?
Oh yeah, let's see here. Yes, he says here. Are you liking fractional gold right now? Coins, bars, and rounds. I'll let you answer first.
I hate fractional gold, but I found myself stacking a lot of it lately. I hate it because of the premiums, but the premiums, as Sal mentioned earlier, have seemed to come down a little bit, and the price is so high. I think now is, and this goes against my fundamental stacking advice, I think now is a better time to stack fractional gold than it has been in a long time.
Summit Metals has some pretty good deals on fractional eagles right now. One of probably the most competitive out there.
Australian, you do get a hug and a kiss. Look at that.
All right. Yeah,
Austrian
stacker. Yes,
it's been a long time since I've seen him. What's up, dude? Yeah, I said Australian. My bad. I'm
Austrian
old.
Stacker. I joked with him. It's funny. I joked with him the other day about putting another shrimp on the Barbie.
Let's throw another shrimp on the barbie.
Yes, indeed.
You got to see Austrian's been around for a long time. Cyber Curtain's here. Nice. I like that I can see the chat now. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, well, he's got to hit the sack. So I imagine that he's probably going to be punching himself pretty erratically. But be careful. That could be really sore the next morning, CCT. All right, very good. Now sleep well, brother. Good to see 7 stacks. It's been a while since he's 7 stacks.
Wow, 7, yeah. Yeah, wow. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names. I got to get back on YouTube more often. Life's been throwing some curveballs at me, y'all. So I think I'm mostly going to be back a lot more. So
well, good. Yeah, that's good.
Don't take it personal if I haven't been by your channel. It's not because I don't love you.
Yeah.
To any of you.
Well, and that's just it. Life can get in the way sometimes. I totally understand it. It's tough for me too at times, but just one of those things. Okay, Richard Vaughn. The reason I started stacking precious metals was because my beautiful wife inspired me. Nice. That's great. That is awesome. That is awesome, Richard Vaughn. That is great.
I'm reading Cyber Curtain.
Yeah, I know. He got my humor on that one. That's right. He got my humor. Yes. All right. Different sack. All right. Jay McGuire is here, but yes, indeed. No, Richard Vaughn, that's great. It's usually the other way around, so I think it's great. And let me ask, speaking of which, we have a representation of, if not the full couple here, but Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stacker, which of the two of you started stacking first, and who got who into stacking?
Sorry to hear that, Michael. I know the answer, but I'm going to be. I was just responding to Michael's comment. I'm sorry.
Oh, I missed it. Okay, yeah, I'm missing some stuff here. Let's see.
He says life's throwing a curveball at him too, basically.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Master Blaster, will we see silver pull back to below 30 before the end of the year? I doubt it. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I kind of doubt it.
Thank you, Dewey. I appreciate that. Please make sure to watch. That's what actually helps me the most.
Yeah. That's right, Steve LaPointe, Be Your Own Bank. Tony Erickson has a question. As you know, I'm a refiner and I stack all my metals. What's the best advice you can give me as a smelter? Well, if you're getting your metals and refining them yourself, the premium you're paying is the labor to refine them, right? And so with that being the case, I would say when any extra money you get without actually having to do the work, I would still continue to stack some precious metals. I would just continue to stack stuff that's divisible, that's recognizable, and so I would continue to buy on that regard too. I would not rely totally on refined precious metals that aren't marked or whatever by a major refinery, that type of thing. Now, notwithstanding, you can send it to places like Prospectors Golds and Gems, and they will stamp it and pour it for you. And send it back to you for a small premium or small. They basically the premium they charge, at least they used to, was essentially a portion of whatever you send into them.
See, and I've thought about that too a lot. So I have AAA refining out here, and they're pretty phenomenal. So you can take your sterling down there, what have you, then melt it and give you cash. And something we've learned from Nickel and Chef Stacker, Nickel Stacking and Chef Stacker is, if you can get that 923 cheap at like garage sales, which you can, or secondhand stores, and get it refined, you can take those profits and turn it into physical bullion at the LCS or with an online dealer. So that's always another great way to go, in my opinion.
And he's answering Mark Razor's question. Yeah, that's right. I think that's a good way to do it for sure. And by the way, on that related note, I have been continuing to buy constitutional silver. And I know Constitutional Stacker is a fan of Constitutional Silver too.
Pieces of me, baby. I appreciate that, Sal. I'm always with you.
Yep. Even if it's a dime. And I tell you what, I didn't buy any last time I was at the local coin shop. But one thing that they did, I heard the quote of the price, they are selling it at $22.50 per dollar now, which I still think is a pretty good deal.
That's a really good deal.
Yeah.
That's a really good deal. 22.5 times face. That's good.
Bubba Cade got flowing here with the privy. Congratulations. All right. And Steve LaPointe says, goal for Sunday Night Live should be 1,500 likes after the epic 1,000 likes this past Sunday. Well, unless we can create the hype, unless I can somehow call the LBMA and COMEX and have them crash, I don't think that's going to happen. But I'll my connections. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do there.
I don't know if it's your internet or mine, but I'm getting some audio cutouts and some buffering. Is it you or me, I wonder?
I don't know. I hear you just fine on my end, and it's coming through here clear. And is anybody else noticing it?
Now it seems normal.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, weird.
Sorry about that.
Okay. No, you're good.
Let's see. I'm thinking about wearing a silver bullion shirt to represent a symbol of your constitutional stacker. All right. Nice. Joseph Lopez is. I would say be very careful about wearing a shirt that has precious metals on it or anything like that, just because you might be putting an advertising sign. Hey, this guy likes precious metals. That means he probably owns precious metals. That means he might be have him stored in his house, and let's follow him home. I'd be very.
We all know J-Lo has all the money. Tony Erickson, that's an awesome compliment. It's probably directed towards Sal. I remember many years ago watching, all the big boys, you, Dragons, Yankees. When I was just stacking, YouTube was never a thought. In fact, this is my second channel, and it was successful for a time. Now that's kind of in question. But anyway, and if you would have told me I would ever be on a stream with Sal, especially more than once, I believe this is our third, I'd have thought you were out of your mind. And I remember it was, 2 years ago on Christmas, you did an open panel, right? You remember that?
Right, yes.
I think that was 2 years ago. And the first live stream I ever appeared on was your show. And I came in about the 43-minute mark. And I feel like I didn't falter, but I got to be honest with you, I was so nervous. I was sweating. I had like 300 subs at the time. I don't even know. And I was like, why does this guy even want to have me on? And now I know it's because you're a humble, wonderful human being and a great member of the community. But I was so nervous. I told you I lost connection. And I pulled the plug, and I was like, nope, you're going to do this. You're going to go back on. And it was a great show, but I was so nervous.
Well, I don't think we could tell. I couldn't tell. You did great.
I actually went back and watched it, and I was like, wow, I did better than I thought I would. But that was my first live stream ever. It happened to be on your show. And, man, I was sweating, and it was funny to think about. It really was.
Wow, that's cool. Well, thank you. And I appreciate it. It was an honor to have you. I think it's great. I hope we do more of these with others as well. That would be great. I know people have been saying I should do this more often, so we'll definitely do that. And I think we've had Tiger Stacker on here as well. And
I caught that show last night. Yeah, when he aired it, it was great. Yeah. I didn't realize it was a premiere at the time. I thought it was a live. We're like, oh, what's up, gentlemen? Or like, that's a premiere. But no, that was a good show.
And by the way, Michael K. says, he's wore the Salivate Metal shirt. The one thing about it, if you get a Salivate Metal shirt, it's not quite obvious that it's a precious metals channel. I guess maybe as part of the shirt says bullion, silver, and commentary. But maybe I'll do one that's more generic so it doesn't show it doesn't do that. But thank you. Richard Vaughn might buy a shirt too. Thank you, my friend. Very cool. And let's see here. What else do we have? Azure Blue, is that Elon Musk on with Sal? Oh, man. Nah, I don't know.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah. Elon Musk. He does have that South African accent. He sort of, I do notice that. No, I'm kidding.
It must not be Elon, because I would never design a truck like the Cybertruck. That thing is fugly. That thing is fugly, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
it had potential, but it's ruined.
Right. People are making it their own, camoing it and dressing it up and stuff like that. But still, yeah, it's crazy.
Dog the VG is still after you, Consti. What are you talking about there, Goldie? I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm confused too. Let's see here.
I spent most of my life confused, though, so there's no surprise.
IbG is here. Count Dirpla is with us. Anti-At-Jack is with us tonight. Good crowd here. Appreciate you guys. Matt Bittner with some algorithmic frosty mugs there. That's pretty cool. IbG, who's with us right now, says, will that 5 ounce fit in the ping tester? You know what? That the ping tester, I may do that. I think no, it will not. That 5 ounce, the thicker one won't. But there are 5 ounce rounds that will fit in the ping tester. But you're not getting much ping out of that anyway.
Good question. It's funny. I've never. Oh yeah, the ping doesn't open that much, does it?
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
I got mine right here. I've never tried one of mine because I think I have 60 ounces just in 5 ounce rounds. There's no way that's fitting in there. You're right. Can you all see that?
Yeah.
That's just. Yep, you're right. Huh, I've never tried to ping a 5 ouncer.
But
That's interesting.
It will do a thicker than usual round. Thicker, like, a 2 ounce round, I think might be able to fit in there.
I might be able to fit a 5 ouncer in there, but it's a lot of work. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
If you're interested in one of those, there's a link in the description of this video if you want to check it out. And but yeah, very cool. And let's see here, what else do we have? And let's see. You can't make a rotten tomato pretty by painting it. That's true. You're right, Tony Erickson. Very good.
That is true.
Good advice.
And I think the Cybertruck. I mean, I don't like electric vehicles so much, but take that part out of it. It had it could have looked cool, but somewhere along the line they just went wrong. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it's really.
I don't know.
It's really
it had potential.
Yeah, it's different enough that either love it or you hate it, I think. Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stacker,
I see that.
Suggest 100 ounce or kilo bars. That's a good question.
Okay. I actually just sold a 100 ounce bar, and I have my reasons for it. I'm not going to talk about why. But a lot of people don't like 100 ounce bars. Here's the deal. Everyone loves kilos. Here's the deal with 100 ounce bars. 10 ounce bars are probably the sweet spot. Kilos second best. But here's the thing. Know your market. So if I go to Dennis and Tigard, he'll buy a 100 ounce bar all day. Harry would have too, but I don't go there anymore. If I go to Coins on the Boulevard, my other LCS, they will not buy anything over 10 ounce bars. And even that depends. So know your market. But I think if your market will buy 100 ounce bars and you can get it cheaper, I think that's a win-win. But know your particular market that you're selling to. Just like when you get into numismatics and collectibles, if you can move them, fantastic. But you need to know your market beforehand. And if you can move 100 ounce bars when the time comes, by all means. That's me, though. I'm rare in that respect.
Yep, and I kind of feel the same way. I've got a few of them and a couple of kilos as well. But you have to be able to know you have to know the market to be able to liquidate them. It's not going to be quite as easy. Silver Wolverine, can you rap better than Obama? He did a rap. I haven't heard it yet, but apparently he rapped an Eminem song at the Detroit Kamala rally last night.
Oh man, I really don't want to give them any views, but I kind of want to see that actually.
Me too. And Richard Vaughn, do you think silver will go back up tonight when the China market's open? Let's find out right now, Richard Vaughn. Boom shalaka, it is. It's up 8 cents right now as the Asian markets have opened. And gold is also recovering slightly here. It's up $3.10. Silver up 0.22% to $33.84. So far, that smackdown that we saw last night is starting to see a little bit of a turnaround. This is actually encouraging. We'll see what happens.
All right, Sal, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay. Spot price?
Well, kind of. So Nickel and I go back and forth on this. He is dead set on his prediction by the end of the year. And I am dead set against it, but I have a caveat. He believes silver could hit 51 by the end of the year. Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But before I comment on that, Tony Erickson just gifted 10 more Salivate Metal memberships across the bow. That is a howitzer round of channel gift memberships. Thank you, Tony. That is awesome. If you receive one of those, give him a warm thank you. That's awesome. Glad you guys are here with us tonight. Great crowd. I would almost be willing to bet 50 ounces that we're not going to get $50 silver by the end of the year. I've got a video coming about that tomorrow. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. But I also am sticking with my prediction of $35 silver by the end of the year. We were 8 cents shy of it yesterday, or I guess the day before yesterday. But
I am in full agreement with you, and I think if it does hit 50, it won't hold for any amount of time.
right.
But I think 35 is a reasonable target. And I've long said, anyone who's ever watched me, when it gets to 35 and holds, and that becomes its floor, that's when we really can get excited.
Yep, I think so too. Sniffer Riffle and others pinned a comment. Constitutional Stacker is our guest, and also Chad says at least $40, possibly 50. I have a bet with somebody here in this community that if silver reaches $40, I've got to do 100 push-ups. So I hope it doesn't go to $40.
Either way, you don't lose because you got the silver or you get bigger pecs. So
that's right.
Either way, you
and
win.
I do, a good amount of push-ups, but I don't really have good pecs. They're a little tighter, but I'm a small guy, so that's why I can do these, and it does not as much effort for me, even though I'm still horrible at doing that stuff. Anyway, let's see here. But yes, very good. Let's see here. What's next? And Michael asked, do you think $33 is the new floor, the new support? What do you think?
I think that's reasonable. I think that's – see, here's the thing. I think when it comes to stacking, I think people get emotional and don't use logic. And I think anytime you invest in anything, whatever you want to call it, if you do so emotionally, your judgment's clouded. I think 33 is a fair number for a floor. I think that's a realistic expectation, and you just may fall short, and it might be 33.5 or 34, but I think that's a good outlook. I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable.
Now, I have a little different take on it. And again, mine is just based off of a sentiment for time. I think it's going to take time, even though silver's way above this floor, but the technical resistance was at $32.50. I think we need to see a full week above that before we can talk about anything above that number. In other words, I think, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I don't disagree. I always tell people, count on silver always being worth 25 to $30 an ounce minimum. But go ahead.
Yeah, and it takes a matter of time for these to solidify. Now, if anything we can hold above 33 right now, and today, and right now we see the markets are continuing to move up. It's up 7 cents now. This is a good sign. So $33 very well could be it, or maybe even $33.50 if we see it hold. In other words, if we see it hold up and where that bottom is with the pullbacks, that's going to be your potentially a new floor, and usually it hovers around the even dollar amounts. Somebody else is saying here, let's see here, Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stacker, would it be a good idea to get the flowing hair non-privy graded? What are your thoughts about that? And I'll give my thoughts after.
So first of all, I want to back up 1 second. I think that the reason I said that about 33 is because I hear all these outlandish predictions about silver could hit 200, 250. So I think it's healthy, even though I think it might be lower. That's what I meant by that, just to clarify.
Right.
And West Texas, absolutely not. Graded coins are never a win unless you have a market to sell it. My answer is 100% no. Save your money, buy more weight, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm not a really big fan of modern coin grading either. I think if you can find one of those for about the price of an ungraded one, which I think in time you probably will, especially at 69, it's a huge gamble. Just like playing the lottery. You pay the fee, whatever it is, $30 to get it graded. And then if it's a 69, well, you're probably losing to do that. So I think I would not do that. I think because the secondary market probably will not be kind to most non-privied pieces down the road.
Right. And then you have to find a market to sell it to, and it's a smaller market than the bullion market. So it's all things to consider.
Right. Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else do we have happening? Let's see. Yeah, Timbered 888. We kind of mentioned that before, talking about the prices after the election. We both think that they're probably going to go up, maybe at different levels depending on who wins. And by the way, we also have to take into account on, and I mentioned this in a video today, um, uh, and that is that essentially we could go for quite some time without knowing who is going to be president. And I think during that time, it's going to probably be even more volatile. I think the precious metal markets might be especially volatile then. So stay tuned for that as a possibility that there may be days, weeks, we don't know.
Yep, absolutely. And I think Gold Chick is right. I think even gold might be cheap right now, but silver is insanely cheap. I think she's right.
Yeah.
Even potentially platinum. I mean, platinum is really struggling to hold that $1,000 mark, and it has been for a long time.
Yep.
But
Yep.
you know, that could change. I mean, I have less of my holdings in platinum than I do in gold or silver, for sure. But I have some.
Yep. Yep. I think
There's a reason.
I think it's a good idea to diversify a little bit. It's in and again, but I understand a lot of people are don't want to dabble in it. They don't want to mess with it. And I can understand that too. But anyways, all right. Well, very good. All right. Well, I think we'll take a couple more, but because I got to get back to work for tomorrow's video.
I got to go make money since I came on with you and didn't go out and do my side hustle. I'm just kidding, Sal.
Yeah,
it was a great time.
No, I hear you. Yeah. So we'll take two more questions. And if you have a question for him, you can address him since he can see the chat. And for him, or if you want to address both of us or whatever, but we'll take two more.
And before he takes the next question, I will start making more videos. You will probably not get notifications, but come on by the channel manually. YouTube's not a huge lover of me because I've been kind of open, so they don't really send out notifications. But stick around, come by manually. I'd appreciate it.
All right, very good.
Miller or Coors, what's your GSR? That's great.
There you go.
That's funny.
I like that. All right, let's see here.
Go make some money, Mr. West Texas.
Yeah. Get the Pizza Hut. Hoping for lots of tips. There you go.
Well, this is the time of year that pizza gets busy because I've been working for a pizza joint since 2008. So hang in there, Texas. It will turn around.
I like pizza. What's your favorite pizza joint?
It was the place I worked, but I've been there for 16 years, so not so much anymore. I'll eat anything now. I'll eat Pizza Hut, Domino's, whatever, just because it's different. It doesn't mean it's better. It's just different, you know.
Right.
You?
No, I get it. Yeah, I'm liking Pizza Hut. I really
it's
like
pretty
pizza.
Good.
Yeah, Marco's Pizzas. You ever heard of that?
No, but if you ever go to Domino's, their pizza sucks. But if you get the Alfredo sauce based Philly steak pizza with green peppers, oh man, that's good.
Oh yeah! Wow. Nice.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. Count Derpula, no questions, but just be so careful out there. Things are about to get real screwy. Yes, indeed. I understand, Count Derpula. We got to be very careful. Never know what's going to happen, for sure.
Absolutely.
And all right. Well, very good. All right. Well, folks.
So Pistol Pete, I know we were going to catch a question. I know you're trying to end it. Pistol Pete brought up a great point. Love the platinum, but not as liquid as gold and silver yet. And he's 100% correct. Yep. So some of my shops buy it. Some of them don't. And that was one of my main concerns. So that goes back to that 100-ounce bar question. Know your market, your liquidity. That is a great point, Pistol Pete. Yep. Absolutely. What's up, Eagle Steve?
Yep. That's right. And I agree. Eagle Steve. Very important election. Very important election. Your vote does matter and will matter. More important than ever before to go out and vote. And this is we're literally on the fringe here. We've got to save the country. All right, well, folks, thank you, and thank you, Constitutional Stacker. This has been fun. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Sal.
And hope you have a wonderful evening. And so check out Constitutional Stacker's channel. And hope you all have a wonderful evening. And thanks again and we'll be back here on Friday for a regular live stream. And have a wonderful evening. Take care.
Keep stacking. Keep stacking.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you. Bye-bye.